Hi, welcome to C2C World TV. I'm Yvonne Jones, your host for today's show called By Entrepreneurs for Entrepreneurs, with our lovely co-host Robin Edelman and special guest David Ward Sr. Today's show is sponsored by Edible Home Gardens Ranch, RV, and tiny home resort communities that offers safe and affordable living starting at only $250 a month up to $500 a month with free organic food. Investors can earn up to 35% fixed return on investment. Call us at 417-664-4424 to get more info. We are excited this evening to introduce to you a very special and creative guest. David A. Ward Sr. speaks, is an executive advisor and nationally respected safety authority, author, and keynote presenter. While drawing on evidence or extensive federal investigative experience and leadership roles across global high risk industries, David A. Ward Sr. speaks, delivers strategic advisement, executive development, and high impact keynote experiences that elevate leadership, maturity, and cultural integrity. His mission is clear and uncompromising to ensure that organizations invest in their employees and their families whose futures rely heavily on executive decisions. Please join us in welcoming David Ward Sr. to C2C World TV, and let's find out what this is this evening and discussing what it was that launched you, David, down this path that helps so many people.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you and Robin for allowing me to be here with you this evening, and I appreciate the time.
Thank you.
You're more than welcome. As for launching this book, it was because of my background in safety with over 4 decades. I've seen a lot of people get injured and I've seen a lot of people get killed. And my first book, called The Faces of Safety and Those Left Behind When Tragedy Strikes, really propelled that because I really believe that most companies don't think about the family members who have to pick up all the pieces when somebody gets severely injured
Oh, yeah.
or killed at work.
I've heard that just recently with Amazon, people getting injured and they just say keep working and stuff like that. I mean, like, have you heard of those kind of things happening? And
Yeah, I just absolutely. When that person
wow,
was actually killed at work, he had some type of medical, and they just told the workers to continue to work, not look at him. And I'm like, what is that all about? And
yeah.
it's really about management,
Hmm.
taking the time to understand how valuable your employees truly are.
Oh my God,
They're
yes.
not numbers, right? They're not just warm bodies. They're not there to fill a position. And if you treat them as such, that's what's going to happen. But if you treat them with the respect and you listen to them and you invest in their safety, you ensure when they come to work that those at home understand that they're well protected and they're not going to get hurt or killed at work. Why? Because we're doing the right things.
Right. What is the OSHA? Is it like a acronym? Does it mean a certain words or is it just the
It's the Occupational Safety and Health Administration,
oh, okay. So
right? And that deals with specifically for employee safety. 1910 is for general industry, and 1926 is for construction. They kind of overlap in some areas, but it's meant just to protect. But you have to understand those OSHA standards are nothing more than the minimal guidelines. And how many
right.
companies fail to actually just meet the minimum guidelines?
Yeah. Wow. Well, you've been doing this, like you said, for 4 decades, right? That's what you just
Yes.
said. And so you must have a lot of different experiences that you've had to deal with. Can you share a couple of those with us of what you've had to encounter or companies or, you know, did you have to do any
Well,
entanglements with people or, tell us a
yeah,
little
there's a lot of things that I've encountered uh, in the military. When I was overseas, I encountered some stuff there. Been a part of the decontamination team, and then after going into the Federal Bureau of Prisons, being a safety manager a trainee. And then on the other hand, I was a national safety examiner, went through all the federal prisons throughout the United States, examined their health care, their food service, as well as their Unicore factories from printing to textile to Humvee repair to military uniforms, weather things, and textile.
That's amazing.
Yes, it is.
Do you also work in anything related to like the health industry? You know, they have a lot of facilities, and now a lot of things too are being taken over by let's just say the profiteers, not like government entities anymore. They're like being run by billionaire class group, right? That's just being taken
Right.
over. What are your thoughts about some of that? And do you have access to those types of things?
Well, we can deal. I think everything that I do uh, in regards to safety right now, I do executive accountability training. I do supervisor accountability training. I do physical hazard assessments. I try and make those assessments educational so people truly understand what's going on because most people who conduct audits, what do? They just turn around, walk through the facility, they mark a piece of paper. It's kind of like a checkbox thing. But
Yeah,
does anybody really ever talk about what they found? And
yeah.
if you're not talking to the employees or the supervisors, then how do we expect anything to actually change?
Correct. You're right. And if you're not talking to the employees there who have something to say about it, right? What about that? Do you ever have a
It,
chance to do that kind of a group discussion with the employees?
well, I think it's truly important that we don't listen to our employees. We tell everyone, most companies say, well, our employees are our experts. They're the ones doing the work. But do we truly listen to them when they say, hey, we have a problem? In a lot of facilities today, they're short on maintenance staff.
Hmm.
And so, proper maintenance of equipment is being forfeited and, people are being exposed to dangerous situations. I've done some training at some facilities where I go in and we do OSHA 10 and 30-hour training. We walk the floors, we identify some safety stuff, and lo and behold, I can come back in 6 months, do the same training, different staff, walk out to the floor, and what do you think I see?
Hmm.
The same hazards. They
Wow.
haven't corrected
Wow.
anything.
Wow.
And it
Did
and
they
it
just get
blows,
rid of
yeah.
these people? They just got rid
Well, if it was up to me, I'd get rid of those people. But, to be honest with you, it just shows how much emphasis people are putting on employee safety. Until somebody gets injured or killed, does anybody really think about it?
I don't know. I think they're just thinking about trying how to replace humans right now. You know?
Well, even with AI and all this and robotic safety, there are some things, robots can do. But even though if you have robots and even though you have AI, you still need human beings.
Hmm.
I
No matter
agree.
what, no matter what you do, no matter what company you work for, no matter if it's food, if it's healthcare, if it's the hospitality industry, you still need human beings to operate those equipment. It's just kind of like when you look at ergonomics and you say, well, let's get this piece of equipment to tip this way to do this. You can get all the equipment you want. But if you don't train that employee to actually operate that piece of equipment in the way it's intended, it's
Right.
useless. It's doesn't do
And
anything for anyone.
And things wear out. All kinds of things wear out over time.
Oh,
You have to constantly maintain upkeep, all that stuff. That's amazing. So now, how often do you have to go back to the same location? Is it like certain times in the year, or how does that work for companies?
well, it all depends on what type of training people want, if
Um,
and how many new people come in. Just like I was telling a gentleman a couple days ago about new employee training. New employee training is probably the most critical training that you can give for any facility. And the reason that is because that's really going to tell that employee how much you value them. If you just stick them in a classroom and
Mm-hmm.
you give them videos to watch and you give them 100 sheets of paper to sign for HR and then you just put them out on the floor, what did you just tell that employee?
They're not valuable, really. They're not,
No, they're just another warm body to
Mm-hmm.
get a position. And,
Yeah.
companies, and that's why I wrote another book called The Humanistic Side of Safety. And the humanistic side of safety is we need to get back and do the things that they used to do, where they used to treat people with respect. They
Right.
used to honor
Yeah.
the employees. They used to value the employees. And by investing in your employees, by investing in the safety of your employees,
Mm-hmm.
you're actually investing in their families' future lives.
Oh, gosh,
So
yeah.
true.
Yeah, one less dead body on the floor sitting at Amazon.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah,
like,
Wow.
I hate
but
to
you
be
know how
on
many people.
Amazon, but geez.
Yes, there's a lot of people. And something, it's just I have a friend and his name is Lee Shelby,
Mm-hmm.
and he was an electrical lineman, and I use this story a lot because it really impacts the whole message of what I'm trying to do. And that is he was severely injured. He was burned both hands.
Oh my God.
Oh
Electrical
no.
lineman caught the wire in the wrong way, went through them. Both
Oh.
hands had to be amputated.
Oh
He had
my
to get, yes, and he had to get claws. And that incident not only destroyed his life in 3 seconds, it
Mm-hmm.
destroyed his family because
Yeah.
his family couldn't stand to bear the pain and the suffering and the anxiety and anguish that he was going through
Oh my God.
to get the burns and to redo his hands
Oh
and
my
to put
Yeah.
claws. So he lost his family. He
Oh my
lost his
God.
wife. He
Oh.
lost, the people that he loved the most. And then he got remarried. But to this day, he still hasn't been able to touch his new wife's skin with his hands
Isn't
because
that
he has
horrible?
none,
Oh man.
right?
About
So
it.
it's an injury that's forever
Yes.
touching. And that's why, I bring this to the point that executives, supervisors need to understand the more you value your employees, the more you invest in their safety, the more profitable, the more productive you're going to be, and the quality is going to be higher. So I don't know if it's the mentality that's stopping us from doing it.
Oh. I
It
mean, maybe, well, there's no excuse for companies the size of Amazon, that's for sure. I mean, there's just no excuse for that. They've got the money, the wherewithal to do it. Maybe smaller companies. Now, do you work with smaller companies? Do you see a problem with that, with economics, or what are your thoughts on that?
No, I think small to medium sized companies, when I had my first business, Safety by Design Consulting Services,
Mhm.
I really focused on small to medium sized companies. I gave monthly payments to make safety affordable because, in all actuality, small to medium sized companies really forego safety. In most cases, they don't even have a safety manager of any sort to
Right.
oversee safety. They've either given it to the plant manager or the HR person. Well, the plant manager and the HR person's got enough on their plate. Do you actually think they're doing anything in regards to safety?
Yeah. Wow.
You know, and
Lots of.
so after I completed my books, they're the first two. I also created a
I
coloring
love
book.
it.
Oh,
And
I
this
love
coloring
it.
book is really, it's a
Yeah.
multicultural coloring book. It's for every kid from handicap.
Whoop. Hold on a second. I just lost you. Okay, there, David. David, are you there?
To actually talk about safety at home, safety at school, and safety at play. And so far, I've been getting a lot of wonderful comments and compliments on the book. And I just think it's an incredible way to get parents and kids back together.
Yes,
I agree. I love it.
that's awesome. I really love it. Thank you. I lost you there for a second. It was actually my technical fault error. Sorry about that.
Oh, not a problem, not a problem. And then on the other hand, I'm currently writing another book called The Bridging the Leadership Gap, because until we turn around as leaders, as owners of companies, as stakeholders in companies, until we all get aligned as to what our values truly are, we're never going to succeed in doing anything else, because just aligning the values
Yeah.
is going to be a tremendous feat, because that question's really never been asked. What are their values? You ask the owner of the company, what is his values? Then he's going to tell you his values are, well, production, quality, maintenance, so on and so forth. Well, how do you define that? Because definitions also have a problem. And that's where the gap is between what leadership really believes is going on and what's actually happening on the floor. Because if I was to go and ask the leadership, what do you believe is happening on your floor? And then go to the floor and actually ask the employees, what do you think that answer is going to be?
Like way different, right?
Yes, yes. There's going to be such a gap there that, and all employees are asking for is to be valued,
Mm-hmm.
to
Yeah.
have trust,
Mm-hmm.
to be respected,
Mm-hmm.
right? And to be protected.
And loyalty too. I mean, because
Oh, yes.
I would say
Yes.
your loyalty is a two-way street in my book, you
I
know.
agree with
Yeah, it
you.
is. I agree.
Yes.
Now you treat people right and they feel appreciated and loved and safe. They'll do anything for you, right? To work together better.
I would agree with that statement. And that's why I teach the supervisor accountability training, because most supervisors only know two things: production and quality. I have to get this product out and it has to be right.
Right.
But I teach them something different. I teach them to understand that they have, for every employee that they supervise, they have no less than 3 to 5 family members who depend on them to
Yeah.
protect that employee at all cost.
Mm.
Now, just hearing that,
Mm-hmm.
when I tell supervisors that, I mean, I really get some really like deer in the headlight look. And I'm saying, in all honesty, they don't get paid enough money for the responsibility that they truly have.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's true nowadays, especially. I hate to say it. I mean, you and I, you go 4 decades back with what you said you've been doing in your business, and I have 4 decades behind me on what I was doing. And I'm telling you, the salaries and incomes aren't matching anymore. I mean, we're talking less than what it was 4 decades ago. So it's painful to see what's going on in this country when it comes to loyalty, jobs, all the expenses involved, and every high rising, expenses everywhere. That's another whole topic, right, David? But
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. That's a topic in itself. And, in regards to what we're trying to accomplish, this mission that I'm on is to really get executives and owners to truly understand that the more they value their employees,
Mhm.
then the more profitable their companies are going to be.
And
And
they're not going to walk off the job and try to find somebody else, because that's a long time, experience trying to find another job too. By the way, it's not easy.
yes, but in some industries like the modular homes and the home industries there, listen, people walk in one day and say, "Hey, I want this job." They get hired, and by noon they're gone. And it's
Wow.
because of how they were treated during the new employee orientation. And people down the street are paying 10 to 25 to 50 cents more per hour. So listen, I'm going to go where I'm treated. I'm going to go where I'm respected. And I try and tell young people that today. It's really not about the money, because they have to work so long in today's world. It's about how you're treated, how you're valued.
Yeah.
Oh, we got an echo there.
So,
Sorry.
yeah. So
But
companies, so with this company, it's just like bridging this gap. I think if most companies would just understand how important it is to align themselves. So that message goes from the top to the middle to the bottom, and it's
Yes.
consistent. You know,
I
there
Team meetings would be great for something like what you do. Do you offer team, like, group meetings for the staff? Do they allow you to have access like that to train people on a deeper level? How does that work?
Yes, and some, training is really kind of difficult in some areas because people say I can't get people off the floor. And what I tell them is, listen, you can't afford not to get them off the floor. But in sometimes when you go to training and you give them all this information, you
Mhm.
give them the minimum standards of what's required by OSHA, then they turn around and say, we're not even doing half of this,
Yeah.
you know? And it kind of like, well, what do I do? And I've had some supervisors, just like even in emergency planning, say, hey, listen, we've never ran a fire drill. We've
Oh,
never had a
Oh,
tornado drill. We've never had an active shooter drill. So, what would actually happen
never have.
when something takes off?
Yeah.
oh goodness, I can't even imagine.
You know, how
Yeah.
many lives need to be lost before
Yeah.
somebody actually realizes that pre-planning is the key to success?
Yeah, and what's wrong with having a pizza party with your staff and setting them up and even if you have like a little after hour thing or a lunch thing or set it up that way, you're still meeting the needs of everybody there. They can have shifts. They could take group things so they're doing this and that. I mean, we're talking like small to medium sized companies anyway. So what's wrong with having like a pizza party and a little learning experience at the same time, right?
Right. How many times, as executives or owners or even supervisors, have you just encouraged your employees as they walk through the door? You shook their hand and
Yeah,
said, hey, listen, I appreciate you coming to work today. You know,
exactly.
it's not always about a monetary figure that makes people feel good. People want to know that, like, people want to know that they're valued. People want to know that you
Yeah.
care enough about them. Like, I always ask executives, when's the last time you asked your employees, what do you really do? Show me your job. You know
Yeah,
how many people would be are dying to tell somebody what they do, but the
yeah.
question is never asked.
They should have them, like once a month, honoring some employee or something. A lot of these other places do, but not everybody, But I think it would be a great honor for an employee to get noticed or recognized for something that they did on a small way, small scale. But I hate to say this, but we're down to like 5 minutes on the clock,
Oh
and
no,
for our break, and it really went by fast. I have to tell
yes,
you.
it did.
And I'm really excited, David, about all the knowledge that you have. You have so much experience in your background, and you put it in writing in your books, and I'm really impressed with what you do. And I would love to have you back on another time. We could maybe talk more about how you could tell us more, or you could bring some of your clients on, and you could have a guest appearance on with you and talk about what you've done and what the improvements you've made with them. I think that would be a great show, actually.
Oh, absolutely. That would be wonderful. I would love to come back on and talk to you. Let me just say one other thing. I know it's summertime and the heat is going to be on people. Just make sure you understand the differences between heat stroke, heat exhaustion. Make sure somebody in your family, if not everybody in your family, knows how to do CPR. CPR is life saving, and we want to make sure we touch 1,000 people's lives every day. If somebody was to fall out and have a heart attack, would you be able to revive them?
What is the difference between heat stroke and what was the other thing? A heat.
Heat exhaustion,
Yeah.
it's just like heart attacks for women. There's a difference between, and this is something we should talk about at our next time we
Okay.
get on, because I
Okay.
think we could go full-fledged, but there's a difference for men and women in the signs of a heart attack.
Oh.
And most women feel like it's just the cold coming on or they're just ran down. But in all actuality, it's a sign of a heart attack. But women are such caretakers of everybody else that they don't think about that. But let's make that another show because I think it's important for the CPR, the heat exhaustion, especially for the summertime. I put stuff on LinkedIn in reference to the heat stroke and the heat exhaustion. So people out there, if you're listening, go to LinkedIn, go to CDC, go to my.gov and get all this information.
Yeah, because all of David's information is going to be in the show notes, and so you'll be able to connect directly with him. And
Yes.
I think that's the best way to go, really.
Yeah.
I think it's exciting, and yeah. So, briefly, do you have do you send out like a phone number, or do you just do strictly?
No, people can contact me at 219-669-9043. If you have any questions in regards to safety and I can help you in any way, shape, or form, please don't hesitate to do that because we can make a difference together.
Yeah.
Also, if you need to contact me by email, it's DAWSR, David A. Ward, SR speaks.com. And again, just contact me and I'll help you in any way that I'm able to.
That's
So,
awesome. Robin, do you have any closing words?
no, I'm just in awe, just learning and growing today. Thank you, David. And thank you, Yvonne, for the blessing of being co-host. And what a beautiful show. I feel so blessed. Thanks.
Yes, it's always great. It's great to meet all these new people. I just love it. We
Has
always
so much, yeah, has so much knowledge, doesn't he? So fun.
so well. Thank you, David, and we're excited to have you back at any time. You're welcome
Yes,
back. And Robin, thank you again. I appreciate Robin, my co-host, big time.
likewise, Yvonne. We appreciate
Yeah,
David, you both know we appreciate you.
yes,
Thank you very much. And like I said, I think this show is amazing because if it could help one person make the right decision, if it
Yes,
could change one executive's mind or one supervisor's mind or one employee's thought about doing something that they know they shouldn't be doing, then this show was well worth it.
absolutely.
yeah, yeah. You said it great because that's Yvonne's heart and my heart too. But if you can say, just if someone hears what you say, could save a life, right? Words
Absolutely.
matter, and what you're presenting is so phenomenal and great.
Thank you so
Well,
much,
thank you both.
David. Thank you guys, and
Take
appreciate it.
care.
God bless. Have a great week.
God bless.
Much
Bye.
love.
Bye.
Bye.